Alright, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I've already filmed this. I filmed this, I want to say, well, it's midnight now. I filmed this about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Today's being Saturday, so I'm technically uploading this today. It's now past midnight, but I already filmed this. I put it into my computer and it did not save, or it was corrupted. It happens sometimes. This SD card is very unpredictable, I would say. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work. So I'm going back to where I started, which I think is 1080, I believe. Well, this is part 26. Do you guys wonder or predict if I'm going to get this whole project done in 100 parts? Or do you think it'll go over 100 parts? I'm interested. I'm going to answer these questions, but it might seem like I've already answered them, and that's because I have. I might go through them a little bit quicker because I already know the answers to them. So 1080. What bad habits do you have that affect other people as much as it affects you? I want to say that I am quite a loner. I'm very quiet, quite shy, and I think that comes across as a little bit standoffish. So I feel like I don't have many friendships that I keep up with because of that. I have really bad trust issues. This isn't really a bad habit, but I feel like it is my bad habit though. How I act is kind of how people portray me. It's really hard to get out of it, so I kind of just, if I had to pick a bad habit, okay, really thinking about this, it would be that I'm really bad at starting conversation. So I used to do it all the time. I used to start conversations all the time as a child and as a teenager, growing up texting people. And then I stopped. I thought maybe I'll see who texts me first, and no one else did. So that basically affects my friendships. 1081. How did you party New Year's Eve 1999? So I was 8 at that time. So this was back, I'm going to explain this for the kids who, weren't around then. I can't believe 1999 was so long ago. That's insane. That was over 20 years ago. No, it wasn't. Was it? It was. Oh my god, okay. I feel old. 24 years ago. I was 8. So this was when they thought the world was going to end, when it turned to the millennium. That was a thing, and in the UK we had the Millennium Dome, which I think is now the O2 Arena, but back then it was Millennium Dome. It had a weird museum thing in it, and I feel like it was like a body. I swear, did the escalators go up the legs or a tongue or something? I'm not too sure. We went a few times. There was a whole thing about it, and we had obviously the London Eye as well, was created around that time too. Yeah, fun things. Anyway, when I was 8, was I even allowed to stay up until midnight at that age? I honestly don't know. I don't hang around kids to know how old you have to be to, how old you are when parents actually start allowing you to stay up until midnight. I'm not too sure. So it could have been a fake midnight. I would have no idea. But I expect it would have been how we spend every New Year's, even to this day. I've always spent New Year's with my family, except twice. That being 2021, the New Year going to 2021, which is when we were all isolating, had to stay at home and stick to the rules from the government. And the other one was this just gone past New Year's when I had COVID. But usually I spend it with my parents without fail. I don't really have any friends who would invite me around for New Year's. I've never really been to a party. Even when I was a teenager, I was never invited to hangouts. So we probably would have played, I don't know, Cluedo or Uno, Scrabble. It's quite difficult. We're a family of 5, and so I expect back in those days, we would have to try and play games that had more than 5 people playing. Because there's some games where you can only really play 4 people, so someone has to sit out. No, it's not that great. So it would have been some sort of board game, I'm sure, or I think that would have been Too Early for Balderdash, which is also quite a popular one in my family, but I don't think we played that. It would have been Rummikub, Uno, Scrabble, Monopoly maybe, I have no idea, like any sort of game really. 1082. Does secondhand smoke bother you? I mean, it's not the nicest smell. I'm not a big fan of the smell of smoke anyway. I'm not really a fan of people smoking. But my dad smokes, and at this point, I'm over 30, I've lived with it for over 30 years, I'm kind of used to it. I don't like how it feels though. It does make it hard to breathe sometimes. Just not really wanting to inhale that much, to be honest. So as much as I can, I try and realise if the wind is blowing a certain direction, I will move my body so I'm not going to be full face whacked in with it. 1083. Have you ever dumped a drink over someone's head? No, I don't think so. Dumped a drink over your own head? Potentially. Maybe when it's like really hot. Maybe I've thrown like a water over me. Bit someone? Probably my brothers when I was growing up. Fairly certain that would have been a thing that we did. Torn at someone's clothes? I don't think so. At least not intentionally. Made out in the bathroom? No, I don't think I've ever... No. 1084. Which Lord of the Rings movie has the best ending? I'm not too sure. I can't really picture them in my head. But I'm always going to say like the final one, because, you know, as time goes on, technology gets better, and you always want the ending to be better than the one before, and it's, you know, going to be a massive ending as the ending of a series. So I'm going to say the third one, the final one, probably. Not that I can remember what it was. 1085. Do you have any interesting scars? I have mentioned this before many times. When I was born, I was born through a C-section. That's not how you phrase that. But my mum had a C-section when she had me. And when the doctor cut open, he also cut me on my bum. That is my interesting scar. 1080, it's actually really funny as well. I think it was like, I don't know, 5 years ago or something, my dad asked if I still had a scar. 1086, is it better for people to change and evolve their ideas or always be consistent? Definitely better to change. It's quite boring just to stay idle in the same consistent way. People evolve naturally, things are going to change, and it can get quite boring if you stay the same. People age, different interests, different thoughts, different ideas, your brain expands, all these sort of things. It's always better to change and evolve, and it makes you reflect on what it's like beforehand. 1087, Warped Tour, Lollapalooza or Area concert? These are all American, I think. I've never heard of Area, but I've heard of Warped Tour and Lollapalooza because I used to be into bands that used to perform those, like All Time Low, We the Kings, Paramore, like, I don't know, it's that sort of thing like New Found Glory would do, you know, those sort of bands. I don't recall what Lollapalooza was like, but I seem to remember Warped Tour. I don't even know, do these still exist? Are these still current things that happen? I am so like out of touch with music these days, I have no idea. But I remember Warped Tour, so I'm gonna say Warped Tour. 1088, what are you missing in your life? A companion. Well, I mean, I've got my cat, but I mean like a partner to spend my life with. I would like to have it. I would like to understand how it feels like when I'm watching like films, TV shows, reading books and things that are about it. I would like to be able to go through it myself and see what it really is like. Yeah, that's what's missing in my life, is that sort of partnership, I would say, that friendship. Like, I just feel quite sad a lot of the time because I'm so lonely. I mean, I'm just quite introvert, and I guess that comes off quite badly and it makes people kind of forget about me. 1089, do you ever know when someone is thinking about you? Only when they text me or ring me. Ringing is very rare, but when they text me. 1090, what could you make a sculpture out of that's in the room with you right now? Okay, let me just like, don't know if you're going to be able to see it because of where I'm sitting, but a whole stack of boxes in the corner behind me, because I've got no space to put them elsewhere. I need to go on a dump run, but I've been too lazy to do that. I haven't had the time of work to do that actually, and it's too busy to go on the weekend. So I'm going to say that. I'm very like unsure of how to have my camera angled. I think the cardboard boxes, like even as in the random shape they are right now, someone could just plop the boxes down on the floor anywhere in like an art studio, and someone would be able to think up a story of what exactly it means, but the exact placement the boxes are. I think that's hilarious, but I think it could be them. There's nothing else in here. I mean, I've got some hollow taco boxes as well, which are kind of like stacked one on top of each other. They could maybe be made out of that, and I've got some like 200 nail polishes also could be made into something, I'm sure. 1091, do you believe in the lost city of Atlantis? No, I also thought that was just a thing that was in Treasure Island. Is that an actual thing people think is real? I'm very uncomfortable tonight, sorry. Keep on moving around. 1092, have you ever read The Little Prince? I'm not sure. Like, I've heard of it and I've seen of it a lot. Like, it's really famous. But have I ever actually read it? I'm not too certain, you know. 1093, this is Mr. Fish. What is the best picture you can make with your keyboard? Let me just zoom into Mr. Fish and show you what they're on about. That is Mr. Fish, the little arrows. What is the best thing you can make? I am going to be so childish. I'm 31. How old am I? Is it bad that I'm already forgetting how old I am? I think I'm 31. I said I was 32 the other day. I think that's wrong. I think I'm going to be 32 this year. The first thing I could think of is, like, everyone used to do it, is, you know, the brackets, the full stop. You know what I'm talking about? Eyes with the zeros, like underscore 0 or 0.0 for eyes, or something similar. I don't know. I'll put some stuff up here. My camera's going to die. It did in fact run out of battery, and then I kind of forgot to record. I started answering questions without it being recorded. So well done me. I think, did I end with this one? With the fish one? I think I did. Then what did 1094 was, what did Mr. Octopus say to Mrs. Octopus? And I said tentacles. I don't know why or what that means, but there you go. 1095. Let's see if I'm psychic. Write a yes or no question here. Okay, so these are like 10 questions that are like more based to people who are writing the answer into the blog. So I'm gonna let you guys do it. So put down your answers in the box below and see what you come up with, and see if it is indeed psychic. Let's see if I'm psychic. Write a yes or no question here. 1096, write another yes or no question. 1097, think of just one more yes or no question. 1098, type one question that can be answered with a colour. Example, what colour is my car? 1099. Think of a number between 1 and 100 and type it down. 1100. Write one more question, anything you want. 1101. Let's see if I'm psychic. You write 3 yes or no questions. Now I will answer them. 1 yes, 2 no, 3 no. Did I get any of them right? 1102. You wrote one question that can be answered with a colour. I say white. Is it true? 1103. You thought of a number between 1 and 100 and typed it down. Was it 14? You wrote one more question, anything you wanted. The answer is yes, 42, orange, Matt, Josh, Kim, Nicole, whatever, or your mum. Does that answer your question? There you go. I have no idea what this is about, but there you go. 1105. Do you think that Britney Spears would be a good Bond girl? Okay, bear in mind this was written in 2000 and let me see, 2005 it was written. I honestly can't remember if Britney Spears was like okay at that time. Was that around Toxic era? Wait, why am I going to my phone when I've literally got it on here? Let's see what Britney Spears was doing in 2005. Oh wow, so Britney I think was pregnant here in 2005 with her first or second child. Wait, let me go to Britney Spears and see what was recorded, what was released. Well, 2004 was the Toxic Every Time vibe. I'm gonna say no. I don't know why I'm even thinking of this question like this deeply, but I'm gonna say no. Simply because I don't think she's that great of an actor. She could if her voice had not been ruined by whatever's been going on with her. I would say she would be probably a good singer, like a good artist to do the theme tune maybe, but who knows. 1106. Have you read anything by C.S. Lewis? I'm pretty sure that is the author of the Chronicles of Narnia. So those 7 books, which I have read. My mum owned, well, technically my parents did, but they were my mum's from when she was a child. She owned the 7 books, so they were in very like worse for wear condition. I remember reading them at my grandparents' house when they were there, and then after my grandparents passed away and everything got moved out, they came to my parents' house and I had them in my room for quite a long time, so I've read them a few times. So yes. 1107. What is your favourite movie with Bill Murray? I don't know if I've even watched a film with Bill Murray in it. Like, I know of him, but I've never really been that sort of interested in his stuff. Bill Murray's the guy that was in like the Groundhog's Day film, right? I don't think I've seen that. Was he the Ghostbusters guy? I've never seen them. Anyway, 1108. What is your favourite movie with Jack Nicholson? The first film that comes into mind is The Bucket List with Morgan Freeman. It's one of my favourite films. Really sad, really good, and like uplifting a little bit, but also quite sad because it's obviously a bucket list is, you know, a list of things you want to do before you die. So you can kind of understand where I'm going with that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the one that was in that with Morgan Freeman in a way. 1109. What is your favourite movie with Christopher Walken? Men in Black? Maybe? I don't think I've actually watched many films with him in. So, 1110. What is your favourite movie with Johnny Depp? Oh, there's so many. I love him. He's one of my favourite actors. Secret Window, The Pirates of the Caribbean, Sweetheart, Sleepy Hollow. There's so many. There's a plethora of them. He's such a good actor. Secret Window I was obsessed with as a teenager. I really loved that film. And I also, I mean, who cannot, but the Pirates of the Caribbean series with him in, outstanding. He is the perfect Jack Sparrow. 1110, what is your favourite movie with Orlando Bloom? So the first thing that came to my mind was him as Legolas in Lord of the Rings. As a teenager, I had a poster of him as Legolas and I was obsessed. What other films has he been in? Or why am I drawing to a blank? Apart from Pirates of the Caribbean, but was he in any, like he was only in like 2 of them, right? Or 3 of them? Can't actually remember now. But I'm gonna say, just from the initial list that I'm seeing here, I'm just gonna say that it's gonna be like The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings or Pirates of the Caribbean. 1112, what rhymes with orange? Nothing. I think that's one of the words in the English dictionary that doesn't rhyme with anything. Is that the same as like purple? Purple also doesn't rhyme with anything. There's like select like 2 or 3 words in the English dictionary that don't rhyme. I think those are the 2. 1113, why do guys have nipples if they never need to feed a baby? Good question. I've never actually thought about this, but I think it's something to do with maybe when the baby is growing, maybe they are female before they are male, before they grow into having a pee-pee, maybe before that all happens. Anyway, 1114, some people think that couples should be screened before they are allowed to reproduce, so that people who cannot afford to support a child don't have one, or so that a child won't be born into a dysfunctional family or to unfit parents. What do you think about this? Oh, that is tough. I don't think that is worth anyone going through. That would cause like a whole riot. Like, their decision at the end of the day, and they can take precautions if necessary. I don't think it's that difficult to do that. Some people are just unfortunate with their circumstances. Like, it might not just happen when they before they reproduce. It might be something that happens after they reproduce. Like, it could be something when the child is a toddler or a kid that these problems start arising. So like, it's not something that fits all people. On the flip side, it's unfortunate to say, and it feels really bad to say it, but with having dysfunctional parents or unfit parents, or all the circumstances, it gives the opportunity for parents who can't conceive, it gives them an opportunity to adopt or foster and have kids that they would not ever necessarily have. So it's really bad to say that, like, I think it's okay for them to have them, but also it's kind of like it gives those other people the opportunity of a lifetime that they wouldn't necessarily have without it. So yeah, I hope you guys kind of understand where I'm coming off with that sort of thought process. Of course, I would never wish upon anyone to go through that. It sounds horrendous. Like, I follow quite a few families on YouTube who foster and adopt kids, and I hear about the stories of the adopted kids and what they went through as children before they were adopted, and it's horrendous. Like, unbearable living conditions that no one should be put through. So of course I would never say that it's okay to do that, but just putting a little disclaimer there that I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm just saying, like, it is unfortunate, but it gives the opportunity for parents who can't conceive. 1115, have you ever swallowed an object by accident? I don't think so. I've put something up my nose that I shouldn't have done, and it took like months before it came back out again. It was like stuck up here. I could feel it for like months when I was like under the age of 10. 1116, did you get it back? Already answered. Yes, I did. It was awful. 1117, do you prefer He-Man or She-Ra? I literally have no idea what that means, so no to either of them. 1118, are you proud of yourself? I'm going to say yes. I'm very proud of myself. I've mentioned it before quite a lot of times that like I had like a good childhood, you know, I had friends, but it was kind of like undiagnosed, it kind of still is, but I had like really bad anxiety as a child, as a teenager, and it led to me like losing like all of my friends. I've never really got them back again. I went through that 2 times in my life. Once when I was like 10, 11 years old, but the other time when I was like 15 or 16 years old. And when I was 15, 16, it was the GCSE year, which is quite a big year in schools in the UK where we have to do these exams because these exams can help you get jobs in the future depending on your grade. They also help you get into university depending on your grade. Like sometimes you need to have like a C in maths or an A in an A to a C in, or a C or above. That's easier to say. A C or above in maths or English. I think they've changed the grade system now, where it's numbers. I don't quite know what that means, but in my times it was letters. So C and above for my GCSEs to get into university courses. So I actually got declined from a lot of my choices because of my grades. When I was 15 or 16, I've already mentioned this, like I think I've even written like a whole, not written, I think I filmed like a whole story time of this several years ago, but I honestly thought I wasn't going to make it that year. I just was not very happy, and it was pretty dire to go through that time. I would never want to go through it again. When else, like I have trauma from it, I'm sure. I'm proud of myself because I failed my exams, I lost all my friends, I went to college, I went to university, and I've got a job, I own a mortgage, and I live alone, and I pay everything by myself, and I'm proud of myself because I didn't think I would ever get this far. It's a shame that in my day and age, like when I was a child, that mental health wasn't really talked about. It wasn't really shared, or it was like a little bit taboo. It's only been like in the last like 3 or 4 or 5 years where it's been really starting to be mentioned and spoken more about. But back then it was like not really mentioned, and so I think that's one of the reasons why it just wasn't working well for me. But I lost all my friends. I don't really talk to any of them anymore. I lost contact with them because I'm pretty sure there was like a rumour that I had died, or there was a rumour that I was like severely unwell. But I remember, this is a little bit story time, I don't know why I'm mentioning this now, but it's like late, so this is the sort of time I like to talk about things. I remember one of my tasks to kind of overcome these issues was to go to my Leavers Assembly in year 11. The last time I ever saw any of these kids, probably. Last time I saw anyone in my year. I rocked up and everyone looked at me as if I was a ghost. I remember one person like literally flinching. I also have like a really awful memory of, out of the blue, one of these girls who I thought was one of my friends, randomly texted me out of the blue saying that I had said something to someone else and calling me all these names and basically ending our friendship. And I have literally, still to this day, no idea where that came from. And I think they did it because they didn't understand what the situation I was going through, but they probably thought it was funny, or they just wanted to do something, I don't know. 1119. Who should go to hell? Any mass shooter, killer, murderer, whatever you want to call them, who does that. Them. Anyone who does that and doesn't have any remorse. Anyone who sits through those court hearings shows no reaction, anything. Like, honestly, it's pure evil. So those sorts. 1120. Is your eyesight 2020? Though it's not. It hasn't been for many a year. I think I started wearing glasses when I was 17. That's when my parents finally said yes to taking me to get my eyes tested, and found out that I had a little bit of like astigmatism and some, you know, a little bit of blurriness. I was struggling for like 2 or 3 years in classes, not being able to read the whiteboard, because I used to have like my seating arrangement was at the back of the class because I was a good student. They used to put the naughtier kids at the front, good kids at the back. And then I think when I was 17, year 12, and I was at school still for 1 more year just to do a BTEC course. I can't remember what the course was on now. Health and social care maybe? Something like that. Anyway, and that was a year where we had to be sat in front of computers all day. And I remember thinking that it was just a little bit tricky. I think it was around that time as well when I started to learn to drive the first time around, because I stopped and started once, twice, when I was trying to learn on a manual car. Anyway, one of the first things they make you look at is your number plate and like being able to read signs, and I was like mentioning that they were a little bit blurry, so that's when I got glasses, around that age anyway. And yeah, I have an astigmatism, I have some issue with my eyes, which apparently is weird and kind of scary and could lead to blindness, which is a little bit daunting, but the condition hasn't changed in like 6 years. So they think it might just be how my optic nerve, I think that's what it is. They just think that that's just how it is. Yeah, I don't wear glasses a lot when I'm filming videos because I don't like the glare of the light, which you can see in the window. I don't like the glare being on my eyes. Go. These are my glasses. This is what I mean. I don't like that glare. So I'm actually short-sighted. That's what it means, right? Where I can actually see things better close up than further away. So I don't necessarily wear them or need them when I'm reading off my iPad or when I'm like working on my computer or at my screen. I need them for watching television though, because that's a little bit further away, just to make it a little bit more crispier. And I need it for driving because I can't read road signs these days without my glasses. So I tend to wear my glasses more when I'm out and about, never really when I'm at home. But these are my glasses. They also stop me from getting headaches as well. So, bonus. 1121. Have you ever had insomnia? Yes. 1122. Does it bother you when people touch you? Yes, but also no. I think I'm a bit touch-starved, so it makes me flinch because I'm not used to it. But when I do have it, I was like, oh, I love it. Yeah, I don't really have anyone who wants to touch me. That sounds really wrong. Sometimes, you know, I'm sitting on my couch and wishing I had someone to cuddle up to, but wishful thinking, I think, guys. Wishful thinking. 1123. Is it better to get too much or too little sleep? Better to have too much. It's worse to run on less sleep than more sleep. When you work on less sleep, you're just too tired, like your brain just does not work. It's like everything just gets too sluggish. Whereas when you sleep too much, perfect. You are more awake and ready to do things. 1124. Have you ever given away something that you own? Oh no. Wow. 4. Have you ever given away something you made and what? No, I don't think I have. I just realised I left my glasses on, but you only live once. That's it. I'm going to end it here. That is part 26 of my 5,000 questions survey sorted. On to the next one. See you guys soon.